Well, hello there, and welcome. Well, hi. Welcome back. It's Oliver. Welcome back to Tackett's House of Horsepower. Steve Tackett. That's Oliver and Scout down there. I guess this is episode 5 of the Down and Dirty build, so we're moving right along. I think we got enough parts, suspension, and brakes to start assembling the frame. So I think we're gonna get started on that today. So welcome back and follow along. Well, let's see what we got. We got anything? We got anything? So here's where we're at. I got a pile of boxes we can start opening and bolting stuff together. So I guess that's where we'll start today. Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll start in the rear because why not? So here's what I've got. I'm gonna add some braces back here. They go here, and they just kind of triangulate the back end here. So anytime you can add a triangle to something, you're gonna make it a lot stronger. So by bracing it, this won't flex, and the back of the frame can't flex as much. So that's gonna triangulate both of these corners here and here. So there'll be one on each side like that. And we also got all new hardware, of course. And we got adjustable uppers that are got a nice solid mount on the front there. And then this goes down to the rear end, greasable, adjustable. So that way the pinion angle will be adjustable. And then we got lowers, tubular, with polyurethane bushings and mounts for a sway bar. So those will be the lowers, uppers, and bracing triangulator mounter guy. So we'll go ahead and start bolting this stuff together. Oh, I got some springs, 1-inch drop springs, and new rubber mounts. I can't put this stuff in until I get the rear end back. The rear end is off getting rebuilt, gears and a posi, all that good stuff. So I can just bolt all this together, but it's not going to be able to sit on tires yet until I get the rear end back. Couple things. I put it all together. I leave everything loose. Everything should go together smooth. Nothing should be bound up. You shouldn't have, all the bolts should go in by hand. Everything should be free. You should be able to move it. The other thing is I like to put a little bit of grease on your bushings, and I put grease on the bolt too. I'll put grease on this bolt just because, the water gets in there, it rusts. So put a little grease on the bolts, put a little grease on the bushings. And then when you do go to tighten everything up, you don't need to tighten it so tight that it squeezes. What'll happen is this thing will squeeze down and pinch it, and then your suspension doesn't want to articulate it. It kind of makes everything stiff, and that's not good for especially drag racing. I want this thing to squat, so I don't want it to be so stiff. So be careful when you tighten this stuff up. You don't want it to bind up. So put grease on stuff and make sure it all fits nice and easy by hand. You know what I mean? All right, so the rear suspension is all bolted in. It looks pretty good. It as you can see. Bearing up top, adjustable, so we can, once the car is on the ground and has all the load on it, then we'll set the pinion angle using those top two right there. We got new bushings to go in the rear end. As soon as the rear end gets back, we'll put the springs in and shocks on and set the rear end up. But that's it for the rear for now. All right, next up, I'm gonna get started on the front here. First thing I did was I'm gonna disassemble the front spindles, calipers, pull the rotors off. And the reason being is I need to knock those studs out and go ahead. We're gonna put in extended studs for track safety. They require extended studs nowadays, front and rear. So now's a good time to do it. Just might as well do it and get it over with. So those got to get pressed out. Those got to get pressed in. And I can reassemble those spindles. One more thing I got to do is I got to drill these out to a larger size to fit these larger bolts on the back of the spindle. So there's a few things I got to do before I can assemble these spindles. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. All right, check it out. Got the A-arms back. It's got all new bushings in them, ball joints, uppers and lowers, both sides. I went ahead and pressed my extended studs in. Also went ahead and drilled these out. You gotta drill them to a 1/2 inch. So I just need to do some cleaning. I'm gonna simple green this stuff and then rattle can it. And then I'm gonna start assembling the spindles, calipers, put all that back together, stick these A-arms on, and then if everything goes right, this thing should be sitting on front tires today. So I got plenty to do. All right, I set the upper A-arms on there first. Remember, I saved the shims from when I took it apart. So I put the shims back in it where it was before. So hopefully it's in the ballpark at least. Also got new springs. Those are 2-inch drop springs. New rubbers for the pad to sit on there. Yeah, gonna have to stick the lowers on and pop these spindles in, and pretty soon it's gonna be sitting on its own tires. All right, well, it's starting to look like something now. Rear suspension is hung. Front suspension is hung. Look at that. Looks pretty good. I think it'll work. Suspension's on there, brakes are on there. I got steering and shocks and brake lines and fuel line. And then I can probably go ahead and take the engine and transmission and set those in. So maybe we'll get that far, I don't know. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for today. I got a little sidetracked for a couple hours and had to go run some errands and do adult things. But I got back on it and got about as far as I could get today. So at least my pile of parts is a lot smaller than it was. So that's progress. Anyway, I'm gonna order some more parts and I'll have another pile of parts sitting here for the next time I get a day off. And we're doing okay. I don't know if we're gonna make it by September, but we'll see. And I don't know, it'd be nice to see it sitting on all 4 wheels at least, and engine and tranny sitting in it. That'd be nice. Anyways, thanks for watching, and please hit like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell. Any of those things would be very appreciated. And Until next time, take it easy.